Hello, how are you? How's it going? Happy Friday to you. It's Friday. For those of you that work the 9 to 5, you made it. Yay. How's your Friday going so far? How was your week? I'm curious about that. I had a crazy week. I had a gala, as many of you know, on the weekend that I helped put on. I did all of the decor for the event and also helped with running it, and it was amazing and so much fun. But it was a super long day, and it was a little stressful leading up to the event. And so ultimately, I ended up having a fibro flare up. I think that's what really happened. So many of you know that I have fibromyalgia. I am able to really control my fibromyalgia with my diet, with controlling my stress by having regular exercise. But sometimes those things don't work out, and I end up in a flare where my body's just really inflamed and I feel really unwell. So got through that at the beginning of the week, which is okay, and I'm feeling really good right now. I was able to jump into a workout today for the first time since I think Saturday, or maybe probably I didn't work out on Saturday, probably on Friday. So that's something that I was really, really happy to do today. And then I had my dog. My dog got sick on Wednesday. You might know that. The poor guy, was kind of feeling ill. I came home to I won't go into explicit detail, but let's just say it was really not good. So I don't know. Let me know if you have a pet out there, if you've ever experienced this. I think once you're a pet owner, you pretty much know. Once you have pets or kids, I actually had a conversation with my brother today about the fact that we should really just be supplied with hazmat suits because we get to do a lot of really gross things. But my dog's okay. We took him to the vet. He's fine. I think his stomach he eats garbage, so it could have been the garbage. He also, we changed his food, the dog food that normally he eats. They were out, so we put him on a food that he was on before. And I just think that, I don't know, the vet wasn't really 100% sure either. I know doodles can tend to have kind of bad tummies. So it's all good now. It's Friday. Yay! I'm going to be taking my eldest skiing on the weekend, and it's going to be great. So I wanted to jump on today because this has popped up for me a couple of times, and I've actually even given some coaching recently on belonging. And I think that it's really interesting. You know, I remember when I was a teenager and I was in high school and feeling like fitting in was such a difficult thing, you know, and I really felt like, well, I didn't fit in because I really didn't. And so I went through all of that in university, and, you know, I think we all go through all of life trying to fit in. And it's really kind of this double-edged sword because we want to fit in, and then it makes us feel kind of unsure about ourselves. And so belonging, what's interesting to note is love and belonging on Maslow's hierarchy, right? It shows up as a human need. It's actually something that's required for us to feel okay. And so I really thought it would be worthwhile to talk about it because what is belonging really? How do we belong? You know, we have lonely times in our lives when we feel like we really don't belong. So how do we do that, right? I think that it's really interesting when we think about belonging because I think where the heart of it is truly is when we actually love and accept ourselves, then it allows us to find the people that we belong to. So the more that we go out and we go into groups and we go and do things with people and we're constantly thinking, I don't fit in, or I don't look right, or I don't act right, or I don't talk right, or whatever the thing is that's coming up for us, you know, oh, well, those people all knew each other before, and so then I don't fit here. The more that we start having those thoughts, it causes us kind of like to retreat, right? And to have negative self-talk. It makes us feel really uncomfortable. So then we potentially aren't going to initiate a conversation with anybody. We're not going to get to know somebody a little bit better. And so ultimately at the end of it, we don't belong because we haven't done anything to belong. So I don't know if that's making any sense. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. But what I really am kind of getting at from this point is that if we actually just believe that we're okay and nothing's wrong here, then we can feel really confident and comfortable walking into situations with other groups of people. And then if those people don't resonate with us, we don't make that mean something about ourselves. Because I think a lot of the times when we walk into situations or we're putting ourselves in a position where we feel this like really, you know, what am I trying to say? This really magnified lens on ourselves, what we end up starting to think is, I don't fit in here. And the more we think, the more that we have the thought, I don't fit in, the more that we start having the feeling of, you know, the feelings of, you guys could maybe let me know what are some of the things you might feel, but shitty and not good and, you know, depressed and, you know, more introverted or, you know, any of the things that might be for you. And then you tend to leave, or maybe you drink, or, you know, like there's lots of things that we do when we feel like we don't fit in. So how do we find a better sense of belonging is really the question. And really the answer is, how do you love yourself more? So how do you love yourself through that, right? How do you start believing that you have value and worth regardless of whether or not somebody else says you do? And so I really believe that that's the work is, and we can do that from two different standpoints, right? We can do it from the standpoint of self-love. And of course, that's something that we're always working on, but where it really comes into play and something that I think is really important to notice is that regardless of what's happened or what you've done or what could have, you know, been done to you, is the idea that you have worth just because you exist. And it's a really powerful thought to think, I'm worthy. And if you can think I'm worthy, then you can start building that self-appreciation and self-love. And so I want to talk about it from an appearance standpoint as well, because I hear, you know, from my previous work, when I've worked with people on their image, right, and worked on their self-confidence from the external going in, like, what are you wearing and how are you wearing it and what does your body look like? When you don't feel self-acceptance from the standpoint of, I don't think I look good, or I don't look appropriate, or I don't look attractive, I do think that that comes into your feeling of belonging, right? And whether or not you fit in and whether or not you're lovable. Is your body lovable? Are you lovable? What if you were, regardless of what you look like? And so if that were to be true, what would you wear? What would you say? What would you do? And all of these things are informed by your acceptance, but not just acceptance, appreciation of your worth, your worthiness of how you look, your worthiness of how you show up, the worthiness of what you say and what you do. And so I just wanted to kind of really talk about that a little bit today, because the only way we truly are able to belong is if we believe in ourselves enough that we are so okay with our worth and our value that then when we go out into a group and that isn't a good fit, it doesn't mean anything to us, right? Because it doesn't matter, because you're still worthy. And then as a worthy person, you can go and meet those people that are your tribe and are your people, and they will feel like a glove, right? They'll feel like they've always fit. They'll feel like family. And so I just, you know, if you're feeling like that sense of, I feel like I don't belong, and I really feel like we all feel that sometimes. And I doubt very much that there's anybody out there that hasn't been in a situation or at a time in their life when they felt like they don't belong, to just remember that you are worthy, you are okay. And you know what? The more that you can work on that feeling for yourself, the more likely and the more able you're going to be able to find your tribe of people. And they're out there. But it really has to start with you and how you think about you. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that that resonates. I sure would love for you to chime in and let me know what really kind of stood out for you. And otherwise, I just hope you have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, I will see you all soon. Okay, bye.